Good afternoon and welcome to the Ministry of Education at Evans Road. It's the 2021 Singapore School Sports Council's Volleyball National A Division Girls Preliminary Round match between Hwa Chong Institution and YISHUN INNOVA Junior College. We're delighted to bring you coverage on One Play Sports Facebook as well as One Play Sports YouTube. As you can see on your screens, the gameplay has already commenced, and it seems like Hwa Chong Institution have taken their second point against YISHUN INNOVA JC. Off to a good start, Hwa Chong Institution. And Hwa Chong Institution have scored their third point of the match. If this is your first time joining us, let me give you a rundown of the format of play for this event. Every school has 3 sub-teams, with every sub-team having a chance to contribute points to the league table. If a match is won in 2 straight sets, it will be 4 points to the winning team and 1 for the losing team. If a team wins 2 sets to 1, then it is 3 points to the winning sub-team and 3 points to the winning sub-team, and 2 points for the losing sub-team. Each sub-team will play a best of 3 sets, and if they win 2 sets, their school wins that match. Within each set itself, it is the team that reaches 11 points first who will wrap up the set. And currently, in our current game, Hwa Chong have a lead of 5 points to 0. Now this is our second match of the day. The first match happened between Anderson ACJC as well as excuse me for a moment. ACJC as well as Tampines Meridian Junior College. Now ACJC wrapped up that match. All in that game between the 2 schools, all in straight sets. That's a strong serve from Hwa Chong Institution. Let me give you a rundown of the players who are currently on the court as they take their timeout. From Hwa Chong Institution, in sub-team 1, we have Lim An-ti donning the number 10, Lu Wen-jia donning number 15, Ng Yen-kit in number 9, and Tan Kaylin number 17. Now on the YISHUN INNOVA side, we have Shanlin Chu Zixuan, number 19, Qin Huizhen Disha, 13, Pei Jiayi, number 6, and Tan Wei Ling Shanice, number 12. It's Hwa Chong to serve. That was a tricky ball from YISHUN INNOVA, and they take their second point of the set. Now, if this is your first time watching volleyball, each side only has 3 touches to get the ball back over to the other side of the net, and they are not allowed to touch the net. And if they do, they will concede a point to their opponent. TMJC to serve. Sorry, apologies, not TMJC, YISHUN INNOVA. And that's a very strong hits from Hwa Chong Institution. A spike, I believe they call it. This is Limanti serving for Hwa-Chong Institution. It's a good serve, and Hwa-Chong get their 9th point of the match, of the game. And that is point number 10 for Hwa-Chong Institution. It does seem like Limanti is very good in her service. Now it's a changeover to YISHUN INNOVA. Number 12, Shanice Tan. It's a spike, and Hwa-Chong are on their 10th match. This is set point. Racing into the lead are Hwa-Chong. Let's see what YISHUN INNOVA can do. This time it's Tan Kaylin from Hwa-Chong serving. Wow, that was a good tip over the net. And YISHUN INNOVA can't get the ball back, so Hwa-Chong Institution wraps up the first set of the match with a scoreline of 11 points to 4. Now bear in mind, this is the first of 3 matches we will be seeing between the two schools today, and within each match, a school only needs to win 2 sets in order to wrap up that match. In this case, Hwa-Chong Institution have already gotten 1 set under their belts and need only to fight for 1 more set to wrap up their first match of today. Now it's quite a complicated point system this year for the volleyball A divisions in the National School Games. As I mentioned previously, each school plays 3 matches every time, and within each match, if they win the match by 2 sets to love, 2 sets to nil, they will accumulate 4 points for their school, while the losing team accumulates 1 point. However, if they come away with 2 sets while the other team manages to take 1 set of them, the winning team will only be able to achieve 3 points, while the losing team will have 2. And these will contribute to their standings in the league table, which they are currently vying for top position for. Now the start of our second set of the match. YISHUN INNOVA have gotten the first point against Hwa-Chong Institution. And there was a good smash from Hwa-Chong Institution as I think the ball landed on the line. It was very impressive. It seems there has been a bit of a miscommunication on the side of YISHUN INNOVA JC, while Hwa-Chong Institution maintain their tight teamwork. But I do believe YISHUN INNOVA will remain strong in this match. That was a good tip over the net by number 12, Shanice Tan from YISHUN INNOVA, and they get their second point in the match to maintain their lead. That's good defense from YISHUN INNOVA. Anticipating that smash from Hwa-Chong Institution. This time, however, Hwa-Chong Institution gets the better of them and gets 2 points on the board. It is number 10, Lim An-si from Hwa-Chong Institution to serve. And YISHUN INNOVA can't get the ball back over the net. It's 3 points all in our second set. That's very smart from Hwa-Chong Institution's number 10, Lim An-si, as she just tips the ball over the net, besting the YISHUN INNOVA side. It was a valiant attempt, however, to get the ball back from YISHUN INNOVA. We have a bit of a rally going on right now. Who is going to blink first? And YISHUN INNOVA concede a point to Hwa-Chong Institution due to a net fault. And Hwa-Chong Institution are now in the lead, 5 points to 3. That was a good shot from... No, unfortunately that shot went out from YISHUN INNOVA, and 6 points to Hwa-Chong Institution. There seems to be a substitution right now for YISHUN INNOVA as number 13, Disha Chin comes in for number 19, Shenlin Chu Zixuan. In this match, Hwa-Chong have already taken 1 set off of YISHUN INNOVA. Now the question is, what answer does YISHUN INNOVA have for Hwa-Chong Institution? And that was a bit too hard from Hwa-Chong, and YISHUN INNOVA get the point off of them. Now what I've noticed about Hwa-Chong Institution is they are very good at setting the ball in front of the net for an attack. For example here. Oh, sorry, apologies, gameplay has been paused. And we will replay the point. It is number 17, Tan Kaylin to serve for Hwa-Chong. The dig pass from number 6, Pei Jiayi did not get over the net. Here we have another timeout for the players. Now if you're reading the body language of the players, it looks like Hwa-Chong is much more relaxed than the YISHUN INNOVA players, and understandably so, because currently they are 1 set up and only 2 points away from wrapping up the match. A cheer though from YISHUN INNOVA before they come back onto the court, trying their best to keep spirits high, motivation up. And let's see what answer they have for Hwa-Chong Institution. Good anticipation from YISHUN INNOVA. And And we've got ourselves a rally. Who will blink first? And Hwa Chong Institution go in for the points. And it is currently match point. Strong serve, but INNOVA can't get it back over, and Hwa Chong Institution wrap up their first match here at MOE Evans Road. Strong start by Hwa Chong. And a little bow from each team to the other in a mark of respect, because unfortunately, due to the pandemic and the safe management measures, the players cannot high-five each other as they usually would if it was under normal circumstances. Of course, lots of people would call this the new normal. So perhaps we'd see more of these sorts of acknowledgement or sportsmanship in future matches to come. Now, if you're just joining us, you might be wondering what's happening on your screens right now. Hwa Chong Institution have just wrapped up the first match. Their first sub-team have won, and currently they have their second. Both schools have their second sub-teams on at the side of the courts preparing to warm up. Now, if you're wondering what are these sub-teams, what are these sub-teams for? Well, for this competition, the National School Games, in particular, they have changed up the format of the competition. So each school sends 3 sub-teams to play, one at a time, of course. And within each match that a sub-team plays, they compete for a best of 3 sets, with the first 1 to 11 points winning the set. Now, before we move on to the second match of the day, let me update you on the points between these two, the league points between these two schools currently. Hwa Chong Institution sits with 4 points, while YISHUN INNOVA have won because Hwa Chong Institution won the first match, 2 sets to none. And as you can see on your screens now, the 2 teams are warming up. On the left, in the blue, we have YISHUN INNOVA, and on the right, in the white, is Hwa Chong Institution. On the court, Once again, we have YISHUN INNOVA Junior College on the left and Hwa-Chong Institution on the right. The sport, of course, is volleyball. One of 12 sports that have been allowed to commence by the Ministry of Education for the National School Games. This is the A division, and they are still in their preliminary rounds, unlike in the B divisions and the senior division, who are actually wrapping up their competition, their tournaments for the year. Now this is because in secondary school as well as the primary schools, their exams are commencing in 2 weeks. And it really is quite a struggle for these student athletes to juggle both their studies as well as their competition season. Currently, you are watching both teams warm up for their upcoming match. These are the sub-team 2. These are the sub-teams, second sub-teams, I shall say, from both schools. And before each match, all the teams are allowed 9 minutes of warm-up time. Now having a look at the bigger picture of the National School Games A Division volleyball. For the girls, there are 3 groups of 5, and these two, YISHUN INNOVA as well as Hwa-Chong Institution, are in Group B. And joining them in Group B are Eunoia Junior College, Jurong Pioneer, Junior College, as well as Catholic Junior College. Now the top 2 schools of each group will progress to the quarterfinals of the National School Games. And I'm sure all of them are hungry to progress to the next stage of competition. This morning we saw a match between Anglo-Chinese Junior College as well as Tampines Meridian Junior College, and ACJC took that. So they won 2 out of the 3 matches, while Tampines Meridian managed to get 1 match off of ACJC. In the light of that, the points for the 2 schools from this morning stand at 9 points for ACJC and 6 points for Tampines Meridian. We are approaching the last few minutes of the warm-up, and we will see the players get ready to start play in a bit. And that's the warm-up done. Oh, not yet. Excuse me. They are in the final stages of the warm-up now. And if you're just joining us, let me do a quick recap. Hwa Chong Institution have won the first out of three matches they will play with YISHUN INNOVA this afternoon. As it stands currently, Hwa Chong Institution have won 4 points in the league table for their school, while YISHUN INNOVA have won 1. Now before the match commences, let me run you through the starting lineup for this match. For Hwa Chong Institution, they are wearing the white jerseys. We have Lai Jacques Shin Natalie. She is number 1. Lim Sin Yi Crystal, number 3. Tan Yen Xuan, number 16. And Tan Ying Lin, number 20. Now on the YISHUN INNOVA side, they are wearing blue. We have Donna Lon Xing Yi, number 7. Sudeha Tapa, number 9. And Lenice Lam Wan Sin, number 3. And for YISHUN INNOVA, in their second sub-team, I do believe they have an additional player, number 8. I've managed to talk to her before the match. She asked me to call her Winnie. So there are 4 players for each team. 3 who will be on the court at one time, while 1 acts as a reserve. And play is about to commence. This is the second match of 3. Let's see who will come out on top for this match. And it's YISHUN INNOVA to start us off. Number 9, Sudeha Tapa. It's a strong smash from Hwa Chong Institution. It does seem like they are using the same tactics as the sub-team 1 that played just now. But it's still early days. What can YISHUN INNOVA do? Unforced error there from Hwa Chong Institution. And the serve goes to YISHUN INNOVA. That's the second point on the board for Hwa Chong Institution. And it looks like a confident start to this match for the players in white. Hwa Chong to serve. It does seem as if this second sub-team from Hwa Chong Institution have a very strong net player, and I believe she is wearing the number 1 jersey, Natalie Lai. Another unforced error from Hwa Chong Institution. And they give 1 point, another point to YISHUN INNOVA. Smart play from Hwa-Chong Institution, but YISHUN INNOVA gets to them, gets to the ball, and it's a miss hit from Hwa-Chong. It's 3 points all. This is the second match of 3. And the current scoreline is 5 points to Hwa-Chong Institution, 3 points to YISHUN INNOVA JC. An aggressive spike from Natalie Lai once again, and it gives Hwa-Chong 6 points. That's another point for Hwa-Chong Institution, and it came from a spike from Natalie Lai once again as the teams walk off court for a timeout. Now, if you're just joining us, we are in the first set of the second match between Hwa-Chong Institution and YISHUN INNOVA JC. That was a bit of a miss-hit from the number 20 of Hwa-Chong, Tan Ying-Lin, but it managed to tip over the net, and YISHUN INNOVA didn't manage to get it back over, and Hwa-Chong took the point. An unforced error from Hwa-Chong gives YISHUN INNOVA their 4th point of this set. And it's YISHUN INNOVA to serve. Strong serve from number 9 from YISHUN INNOVA, but it's an even stronger spike from Natalie Lai once again, and they get their 9th point of the set. And Hwa-Chong are now just 2 points away from wrapping up the first set of the second match of the day. A bit of an unforced error from YISHUN INNOVA. And we come up to set point for Hwa-Chong Institution. anticipation from YISHUN INNOVA, but the ball goes out, and Hwa-Chong Institution wrap up their first set for this match. The scoreline is 11 points to 4, and the first team to 11 points, of course, wins the set. Now they switch sides for the second set. What answer does YISHUN INNOVA Junior College have for Hwa-Chong Institution? Now here is a preview for what is to come for this match. If Hwa-Chong Institution can win the second set, they win the match overall and take 4 points home for their school, while YISHUN INNOVA will go back with 1 point. However, if YISHUN INNOVA manage to claim a set off of Hwa-Chong Institution, they will play to a third, and 3 points will go to whoever ends up being the winning team, and 2 points to the side that loses. Now it seems to be a bit of an intense team discussion from YISHUN INNOVA. But they look hyped up. Hwa-Chong Institution to serve. And it's out. And the first point goes to YISHUN INNOVA. Now what I'd be watching for in this set is if YISHUN INNOVA can get some momentum at the start. But they quickly concede 1 point to Hwa-Chong, and it's 1 point all in the second set. Now YISHUN INNOVA struggled to get the ball over for that point, and it's 2 points to Hwa-Chong Institution. Strong serve from Hwa-Chong. And an even stronger spike. This time not from Natalie Lai, but from number 3, Crystal Lim. Hwa-Chong proving that they're not just depending on one player to score the points. And I think that just goes to show the strength of their side. YISHUN INNOVA is setting up a spike, but not quite. And Hwa-Chong Institution shows them what they can do, racing to an early lead of 4 points to 1. And YISHUN INNOVA are gifting points to Hwa-Chong. And Hwa-Chong are absolutely capitalizing on that. And Hwa-Chong having reached 6 points, there is currently a timeout. It's been a strong showing from Hwa-Chong Institution so far. Let's see if they can keep up their momentum. And what can YISHUN INNOVA do against their opponents? Players are back on court and Hwa-Chong to serve. And that's out from YISHUN INNOVA. 7 points to Hwa-Chong. And it's another strong spike from Natalie Lai. You can see the YISHUN INNOVA players anticipating the spike. However, it proves too strong. But Natalie Lai goes off the court. And we have a substitution from Hwa-Chong. Currently, the score is 9 points to 1 in favor of Hwa-Chong. And they are just 2 points away from wrapping up this match. And it's another aggressive spike from Hwa-Chong that gives them match point. So far, it has seemed like Hwa-Chong have been the aggressors, while YISHUN INNOVA have focused on defense. And it does seem like Hwa-Chong's aggressive strategy is paying off for them. Now we are still on the match point. An unforced error from Hwa-Chong, and they concede their second match point to YISHUN INNOVA, who now have 3 points on the board. Third match point. And it seems like Hwa-Chong are having a bit of a struggle to wrap up their second match. They are, however, still 6 points in the lead. This is their fourth match point. What can they do this time? And another point goes to YISHUN INNOVA, who are mounting a bit of a comeback right now. And it does seem like their confidence is building, but a fault in the serve gives the match to Hwa-Chong. And Hwa-Chong win that 2 sets to none, 11-4, 11-5. And now a bow to each other in an act of sportsmanship. And the second sub teams from each school walk off court to let the third sub teams come on for their warm-ups. Now a quick roundup of the action so far. Hwa Chong Institution have won 2 out of the 3 matches for this afternoon, and hence take 8 points for their place in the league table. And YISHUN and INNOVA come away with 2 points. Now, if you're just joining us, let me give you a warm welcome to the Ministry of Education at Evans Road. You are currently watching the 2021 Singapore School Sports Council's Volleyball National A Division Girls preliminary round match between Hwa Chong Institution and YISHUN and INNOVA. The players are currently preparing for their third and final match of the day. This is the third sub-teams from both schools, and they will have a 9-minute warm-up before they begin. Now, if you're new to the National School Games, we are in the A Division Volleyball Girls. And 15 schools are participating, so they are split into 3 groups of 5. Currently, you are watching 2 schools from Group B, Hwa Chong Institution and YISHUN and INNOVA. Apologies, they are actually in... No, I was right the first time. They are both in Group B. Now each time they play a match, they will accumulate points for their school in the group table. Currently, Hwa Chong have won 8 points, while YISHUN and INNOVA have 2. Now the maximum number of points a school can walk away with is 12 every time they play. And that is if they win all 3 matches by 2 sets to none. As we watch the players warming up for their match, let me run you through the names of the players in the third sub teams. For Hwa Chong in the white, we have Ng Hui-ru, number 6, who is also the captain of the team. And number 7 is Ng Yenting Cheryl, number 19 Rian Sim Rea-eun, and number 14 Vera Ling Yi Fei. And for YISHUN and INNOVA, number 18 is Ng Ai Wei, number 15 Siak Wen Sin, number 10 Sui Xiao Hui, and number 4 Uzma Husna Binti Nordin. Now, it's been a strong showing from Hwa-Chong Institution so far. They have yet to drop a set to YISHUN INNOVA. Perhaps the best is yet to come though from the blue team. Hello, and if you're just joining us, you are watching the 2021 Singapore School Sports Council's Volleyball National A Division Girls preliminary round match between Hwa-Chong Institution, who are wearing white, and YISHUN INNOVA JC, who are wearing blue. I do believe this is both schools' first match this competition season. And they will be playing until the end of May, before the June holidays. During which, for these JC students, they will likely be preparing for their first mid-year exams. If you're wondering what's happening on court right now, we are entering the last phases of, or the students are entering their last phases of their warm-up, their 9-minute warm-up before they begin their match. We're just minutes away from the third and final match of the day between Hwa-Chong Institution and YISHUN INNOVA Junior College. Hwa-Chong Institution have already won 2 of the 3 matches this afternoon. The question of this match would be, what answer does YISHUN INNOVA have for the strong showing by Hwa-Chong Institution? So far this afternoon, it's been Hwa-Chong with the more aggressive strategy, while YISHUN INNOVA have been forced to play more defensively. Now I wonder if this third sub-team from Hwa-Chong will keep up this strategy, or will YISHUN and INNOVA be able to turn the tides? And we have a last minute water break before play commences. Now, if there is one thing I must commend YISHUN and INNOVA for, is their positive spirit. Despite losing the first two matches, both the first and second sub-teams have shown great positivity in their matches. And I do believe we'll see the same thing from their third sub-team, and even more so if they manage to turn the tides against Hwa-Chong Institution. YISHUN and INNOVA serves. And the first point goes to Hwa-Chong Institution. And we have the captain, Hui-Ru, serving for Hwa-Chong. And it's a strong one, and Hwa-Chong take the second point. It's another strong serve from Hui-Ru, and Hwa-Chong speed to an early lead of 3 points. I suppose the question now for Hwa-Chong is whether they can walk away from today with 12 points on the board for the table. It does look like their answer is yes so far, but it's still early days in the third match. That's a good tactical tip of the ball over the net from Hwa-Chong. And they quickly get 5 points. Within each match, the teams play a best of 3 sets, and the first team to 11 points in a set wraps it up. It's a good pardon me. It's good defense from both sides, but Hwa-Chong proved to be just that little bit more aggressive than YISHUN. And it's a timeout as Hwa-Chong lead 6 points to none. Hwa-Chong to serve, and it's Hui-Ru, their captain, who takes it. Once again, a good serve from the captain. Hwa-Chong get the 7th points on the board. We have a substitution on the side of YISHUN INNOVA. It's number 18. Ung Ai-wei comes off the court for number 10, Sui Qiaohui. Well, that serve from Ung Hui-ru touched the net, but it went over, and YISHUN INNOVA were unable to get to the ball, so Hwa-Chong win their 8th point. These serves are really quite something from Ung Hui-ru. It seems like Hwa-Chong are sticking with that strategy, starting with a good serve, a strong serve, and seeing what response YISHUN INNOVA can give. And this time they do give a response, they get the ball back over the net. But Hwa-Chong smashed the ball away, a strong spike, and they have a set point in this third match. And it's a net fault, as one of the players from YISHUN INNOVA accidentally touches the net, and Hwa-Chong quickly wrap up their first set with 11 points to none. It's a strong start from the third sub-team from Hwa-Chong Institution, much like the first two. But as they say, it's never over until it's over. And YISHUN INNOVA have 2 more sets to try to get back this match. Hwa-Chong are quickly back on court after a quick water break between the sets. YISHUN INNOVA, on the other hand, having an intense team discussion, but preparing to take to the court as well. And it's Hwa-Chong to start with a serve to kick us off for the second set. Once again, Ung Hui-ru takes the serve. And it's in the net. First points on the board for YISHUN INNOVA. Let's see whether they can take this momentum and run with it. And that serve touches the net as well, but this time, unlike the first serve from Hwa-Chong, it goes over. So YISHUN INNOVA have 2 points, a 2-point lead over Hwa-Chong Institution. And that's a strong serve from YISHUN INNOVA. Quickly building a 3-love lead over Hwa-Chong Institution. Well, unfortunately, that serve didn't go over the net. And so the point goes to Hwa-Chong Institution along with the serve. This time it's number 7, Cheryl Ung, taking the serve for Hwa-Chong. Good anticipation from YISHUN INNOVA. But this time the spike follows through for HwaChong and they get they claw back 2 points. Strong serve from Cheryl Ng, and we're now at 3 points all. Good anticipation from YISHUN INNOVA. But they can't get the ball back over the net. I must say, with the safe management measures, having only 3 players on court is proving to be slightly more challenging than usual, where the teams would have 6 players on court at each time. And that was out from HwaChong, so the point goes to YISHUN INNOVA. It's 4 points all. As I was talking about just now, it does seem like the gameplay has gotten slightly more challenging because with only 3 players on each side, the same rule still applies. They still have to get the ball over the net within 3 touches. And that means that the players on the court have to run a bit more than they usually would when there are 6 players aside. The scoreline currently is 6 points to HwaChong Institution and 4 points to YISHUN INNOVA Junior College. This is a much better response from the blue team in comparison to the first set. Now the question is whether they can wrap up this second set to bring the match to a third. After a quick timeout, HwaChong Institution to serve. It's number 19, Riansin. And it's a strong serve as HwaChong get 7 points. Get to 7 points, pardon me. It's a good spike from YISHUN INNOVA, but an even better one from HwaChong Institution. And they get their 8th points on the board. It's a good return from YISHUN INNOVA. Oh, and a great tactical play from HwaChong Institution. Can't say that I saw that coming. Another strong serve from HwaChong Institution. And we are at a match point. Now the second sub team took 4 match points to round off the match. Let us see what Hwa Chong's third sub team can do. Rian Sim to serve. And Hwa Chong Institution wraps up the third match of the day with a score of 11-0 to 11-4. They win 2 sets to none, and that is 4 points for the table. So Hwa Chong will walk away from the match today with the maximum number of points they can get for their school, and that is 12 points, while YISHUN and INNOVA come away with 3. Now, as they play the other teams in their group, they will slowly accumulate all these points, and in the end, the top 2 will proceed to the quarterfinals. But for now, that's it for today. Today's match between Hwa Chong Institution and YISHUN INNOVA Junior College. This has been One Play Sports bringing you the coverage of today's match. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.